What's good, everybody? Kasabe here with another edition of the Madden 06 Rebrand featuring the Norfolk Defenders. It is week 9 of the regular season, or game number 8, which after this game concludes will mark the halfway point of our season. We are currently 4-3, and a loss here today will knock us back to 500, which is not what we're looking for. We want to try and, at least if we're going to tread water, be a little bit above the 500 mark. Have the best chance at making the playoffs. A lot of the teams in this franchise are actually around the 500 mark, so if we can start to move ahead of the pack, even just a little bit above 500, I think we'll have a good chance at making it to the big dance. This week's matchup will be against the Washington Wildcats, who are also 4-3. Welcome to Washington as we start this week 9 matchup against the Wildcats. Last week we did not have any fortunes with the coin toss, so hopefully we're able to get that going for us here today. I said tails never fails. Last week didn't work. Picking it again this week. And Wildcats will win the toss. They will elect to kick. Okay, so we will receive to begin the first quarter. There's an updated look at the standings. I don't believe DC has played their game yet, as we are playing in the middle of the afternoon. DC might have one of the main games of the week in prime time, as Lamont takes it out to about the 30-yard line. Gonna go ahead and start the game on the ground with the halfback blast out to Michaels to the right. Oh, we got some hole. Got a gain of 12 on that one. Good start to the drive, as Madden recommends we do another dive play. That's exactly what I was going to pick anyway. Let's get some solid running yards. Another brief opening to the left. Michaels was able to get one before the Wildcats shut it down, but nonetheless, we're keeping them on their toes with the run game. Now let's call a play action pass on second down. I feel like Carey's vision cone got smaller, but he's still able to complete the pass out to Minter, who is apparently injured on the play. It didn't look very good once he let go of the ball. And there is the pop-up for the injured player. The injuries are never fun. Our receiving core isn't necessarily the greatest as it is, so having who I think is our second string receiver, go down is no bueno, as Carey's just able to toss that one out to Michaels before getting tackled. Michaels picks up a gain of 6 on the play. We'll do one more run out to Michaels on second and short, and then he'll likely have to go out for a breather. Here's a dive play up the middle. I tried to follow my blocker, but he actually got up and started running out to the side and bumped Michaels with him. Loss of 1 on the play. Big 3rd and 4 here on the first drive. We are out of field goal range. Michaels is actually still in the backfield, so I might be able to go out to him if I need to, but Carey is going to dive. Again, not slide, dive for the first down. Hate doing that. Minter's actually back in the game, so maybe he just bruised his patella or something very briefly, but he is good to go. Let's try a streak route out to Page, but nobody's covering Kozlowski. He dropped the ball. That was an easy first down for Kozlowski, but man, some of those drops are letting me down. 2nd and 10, I'm gonna go with the routes out there past the first down marker out to Minter or Page. Actually got some room to run with Carey if the defensive lineman doesn't catch up to him first. He gets a gain of about 6 or 7. So now we're in field goal range. We've ate up about half of the first quarter in one drive. Let's go with our second favorite play. Got Minter across the middle. And the hit jars the ball loose. We would have been inside the 10, but a great defensive effort there by Washington. And it'll be 4th down. A 44-yard attempt for Mansfield. Wind is blowing slightly out to the right. We're also on the right hash, so we'll have to aim this well and good. Great kick, 100% accuracy. Can he get it there? Yes, indeed. Mansfield's had some distance issues so far in the season, but knocks it through for 3 from 44 yards out. And while the drive stalled out, we still got some points on the board. There's the 0 accuracy I was looking for. Washington will get the ball at the 40 to start their drive. I just don't know why I am so good at kicking sometimes and then so horribly bad directly afterward, but we'll roll with it. See how Washington wants to start out their first drive here of the ball game. Hughes hands off to Wheaton and maybe picks up a yard on the first play of Washington's drive. Go with some zones on 2nd and 9. I haven't really scouted their offense for their key players as of yet. Oh, I was right there with Vargas. I don't know what I'm doing. Thankfully, only gets a gain of 3 on the play as he had to come back to receive that one. Let's stick with the cover 3 on third down once again. They have 3 wide receivers, 2 out to the left, 1 to the right. Draw play on third down. Okay. Wheaton's able to get past the first down marker. Vargas was picked up by a blocker. And Washington has it out to about midfield. So now a true 3 wide receiver set with 2 running backs in the backfield. That one's going to be a handoff to Wheaton. Knocked over after a gain of 4. Going to try bringing the blitz on second down. See if we can force him back into a long third down conversion. And if they run the ball, hopefully we're able to meet it with the blitz. They are going to throw out to the running back, but coverage is picked up by Connor, and the quarterback sack brings it to 3rd and 12 exactly as planned. Washington is hoping their drive doesn't stall out at midfield. They're going with a 4 wide receiver set this time. We have Wheaton with Connor the linebacker. He's going out for a little post route, and Connor with the diving tackle. He just got there in time and forces the 4th down. I panicked there because Wheaton just really sharply went out to the right with a burst of speed. I hit the square button to dive and try and tackle him, and thank God Connor was actually able to wrap him up. That is a huge 3rd down stop with what we were working with. Lamont's going to fair catch this one, and it will just barely bounce into the end zone for a touchback. So a good start to the first quarter. We were able to get some points on the board with some solid run game, a little bit of a solid drive, force the defensive stop, and now we can afford to continue to run the ball and get some possession going. Kozlowski doesn't want to pick up the blocker there, but we are able to get 7 there. Go with the run play with our 3 tight end set. This will likely be the end of the first quarter. After this play, free safeties coming in. We're running it to the opposite side to Michaels. And linebacker just shoots the gap, is able to get Michaels for a loss of 4 on that play. Big loss of yardage. That will bring us to the second quarter. And now we'll have to think about what kind of a plan we want to do on 3rd down and a medium 7. So we have Page out to the left. Minter has an option. He could button hook or go out based on the coverage. Looks like they're doubling up Page on the left side here. Got Abbott across the middle. Hits his hands, falls incomplete. Defender was fairly there, but nonetheless a 3 and out by Norfolk. Unable to follow up our 3-point drive with another solid drive, and we'll have to punt the ball away. That's going to sail out of bounds, and Washington will start with the ball again close to the 40-yard line. Well, I've had 2 bad kicks so far and 1 good kick, and thankfully the good kick was when we actually needed it for the point opportunity. So another 1st down and good field position for Washington. See if they hand the ball off to Starts. Yes, they will. Wheaton has got some room to run. He's a little bit faster than some of the other running backs I've dealt with this season, as he gets a gain of about 12. So we'll have to keep a close eye on him with our linebacking core if we have to cover him out in the flat. Cleveland's got that one locked in, but he drops it. It's kind of a soft lob there by the Washington quarterback, and Cleveland's been a bit slow on a couple of those in previous plays of the season. Just could not catch it. Foley's being sent out in motion over to the left. See if they run it out to the left. They will. Edwards can't seem to turn around and tackle the ball carrier, but they don't get anything on the play. So another 3rd and long here for Washington at about midfield. See if our defense is able to stop them once again. This time we have Foley as our coverage instead of the running back with Connor. He's looking at him all the way, and he gets stopped short of the 1st down once again. This time will be 4th and inches, but Washington is going to punt the ball. I had a little bit of benefit on that one with the quarterback looking at the tight end all the way. But Connor is able to wrap him up short of the marker once again. This one's likely going to be another touchback unless it somehow bounces at the 1, and ooh, it did. Rolls out of bounds at the 4-yard line. I think this drive we might just have to play field position once again, run the ball, kick it back to Washington, just get out of the end zone and not take a safety. Michaels, the dive play is going to take us past the 10-yard line. It'll be 2nd and 4. I'm going to do another dive play, this time from the I formation. They're cheating over to the right, so I'm going to run it just to the left. Ooh, the corner came in and picked up the tackle. No gain on the play by Michaels. We're going to have to run the ball again because I don't want to pass and force an interception with almost no field to work with. So 3rd and 4, we're going to try and get it on the ground. Michaels is going to go out to the left away from the other running back, Jones, as a lead blocker, but we do have Kozlowski, which should be able to pick up hopefully one of the defenders. I couldn't get around Kozlowski, and Michaels gets brought down. So some good defense by Washington, a great punt to start out the drive. We're just going to have to kick it right back to them. A little bit better accuracy on that one, but this time they're going to get it on. Ooh, so Washington will take it across the 50 this time, and they'll start their drive at the 43. Getting close to the 2-minute warning already. It's a 3-0 ball game. We've had a lot of defensive battles like this so far this season. Although I am trying to stick it to the ground game so far. That is my usual game plan, especially when we're backed up to our own end zone. I mean, there's not much else you want to do in that situation. Washington picks up 2 yards on first down, so it'll be 2nd and 8 from the 40. They go with the draw play out to Wheaton. Schwartz, our defensive lineman, was able to run around and tackle Wheaton at the 37. So this will be 3rd and 3 for Washington, their shortest 3rd down of the day. This time they're not going with 4 wide receivers, and we're going with Vargas as our main coverage man. Hughes is going to try and take it on the ground, and I think he fell forward for the first down. Yes, he did. This time he decided to not throw the ball and pick it up with his legs, which he was able to do. Got to keep an eye out for that, a mobile quarterback as the game progresses, as there's the 2-minute warning. Going to see if I can send Vargas on a blitz here and force them back further towards midfield once again. We don't want him to get inside the 30, if at all possible. Wind's going with him now, I believe. Connor forces the fumble. Somehow their offensive lineman is able to pick it up and maybe even get a gain on the play. I think it's 2nd and 9. We met Wheaton right in the backfield there. That was their center that picked up the fumble. That one's behind their receiver, so an incomplete pass, 3rd and 10. It's going to be a long field goal unless they get some yards on this play right here. Covering the running. Oh, they're going for streak patterns, I guess. Here's the shot to the end zone, which is knocked away. Kind of an odd choice there for Washington, but they're going to try the field goal. Again, the wind's slightly going with them out to the right. It's a 50-yard attempt. Computer can sometimes make these, but the strength of the kickers isn't really such with the rosters that I picked, as that one is just going to sneak inside the right upright and go over the middle crossbar. It's a tie game at 3 apiece. See if Lamont can get some good yardage here on the return, and we'll have a chance at hopefully taking the lead as Lamont fumbles the football. Jesus Christ. They're not even going to booth review it. I think that was a fumble anyway, but Washington's right back to scoring range again with the ball, and they get the ball at the half as they toss it out to Wheaton. He fumbles the football, and we are just not getting anything to go our way so far. With the fumbles, might have been offsides because he just kind of stopped. Yeah, there have been 3 fumbles in this game, and all of them have been recovered by Washington. It's a little bit of a bad break there. 3rd down. Burton with the interception. He looked over to the linebacker where Connor was, decided to go back to his main target, and we were able to pick the ball off. So offsetting turnovers. We got a minute to go before halftime. We're going to go ahead and try and go down the field. We got our passing game going a little bit during that first possession, but now we actually put it to the test. First, let's start out with some short yardage. Just make sure we don't get put into a sticky situation. Carey, what the hell was that? It was behind the receiver and at his ankles. This game sometimes, man. I guess we're just kind of like taking shots with turnovers back and forth. That should have been an interception. Still, I have a feeling Washington's going to end this drive with a touchdown somehow. Somehow, some way, they're going to get a touchdown. It's not going to be just 6-3. They're going to get the ball at the half at up like 10-3. Here's Wheaton on the carry. Vargas is able to meet him. They're going to call a timeout. Guarding the middle here. I don't know where that was going or what person that was designed to go to. I'm unsure how nobody got a hand on the ball at all, but what a crazy last 2 minutes, honestly. Like, what is going on? Still have a chance after this to maybe get some points on the board if Lamont can hold on to the dang football on the kick return. But we did somehow survive all that and only give up an extra field goal. It's 6-3 Washington. And I don't want to be too gung-ho on offense and, you know, throw another pick to end the half, but we need to score here. Just something to get us going and not give Washington that much of an advantage going into halftime. I guess I made the mistake last play when I threw that interception of, like, everybody in terms of my receiving core being really crowded next to each other. So we cannot do that again. That was an off-balance throw. Saw the guys coming. We do have all 3 timeouts. Washington still has 2, so even if we throw a couple incompletions here, they may want to take another chance. Who knows? Kozlowski, I threw the ball and nothing happened. I saw the blitz coming, and I was like, oh, Kozlowski's going out to the right. I'll have plenty of time to throw to him. And just Carey held on to the ball. Ugh. So Washington's going to call a timeout here. They are going to get the ball back with 20 seconds. Pass game has just not been our friend this year. And, like, Carey's not great, but he's not, like, freaking terrible either. God dang it. I did another weird... Who would punt the ball like that with 12 accuracy? Kicking is so hard in this game, dude. Like, I keep setting him up with, like, prime field position, though. Edwards nearly picks the ball off, but that falls incomplete. Our man coverage has been on point. I'll give our defense that. But what a cluster of a first half so far. Just going to let their running back run wild, but thankfully our defense gets the sack. I'm just going to put an end to the half right here. If they don't want to call a play, great. I will take going into the half down only 3 points. Like, again, less than ideal first half, but another defensive struggle with lots of turnovers. And our offense just can't do crap right now. It's a pretty well scripted and documented struggle to this point about what our team can and can't do as we finally get another great kick here in terms of the meter. So finally, Washington gets their worst field position of the day, which is the 24-yard line. Probably take it slow here with a couple of running plays. That would be my guess, at least. Pass game hasn't been too consequential for them so far. And Wheaton has been pretty fast on the ground as there's another throw. That one was zeroed in by Connor. Their quarterback looked at him the whole way. I would have ran the ball. Then again, I turned the ball over quite a bit, so I can't be talking. And now we can just relax a little bit. Again, want to get some points on the board. Don't want to turn the ball over. We were just gifted the ball inside the 25. Michaels out to the left. Oh my goodness, he just... What? There were 2 defenders right there. They should have just swallowed him up, and that was not the animation I was expecting, but I will take the first down. It's a 1st and 10. We still could get a first down, not a 1st and goal situation. Run the ball to Michaels again. Hits him with the spin move and is through for the touchdown. Oh, that had disaster written all over it with the gain of nothing on the play, but just hit the circle button. That is the touchdown we needed. It feels like we haven't scored a touchdown in quite some time, honestly. I feel like it's been like almost an entire game's worth of gameplay without a touchdown. That felt good, like hitting the circle spin move button, getting it in stride, and then finally scoring a gosh dang touchdown. Michaels with 20 rushing yards. He had 2 like perfect 10-yard runs on that for the score. That's what I want. I want like solid chunks of yardage on the ground game like that. All right, defense, let's see what you guys can do for us one more time. Washington tried to force the issue here as you get a look at Hughes' pass chart here. 2 interceptions out to the right, and see if they play it safe and actually run the ball here this time. No, they're actually going to pass again. Vargas turned around and nearly picked that off. That's where the vision cone can kind of, you know, like it's a little bit overpowered on defense, because if they just continue to follow the receiver the whole time, you can just switch to a defender in that zone or area and just pick the ball off. But they're forcing the passes quite a bit. That one's going to be out to Ilko, the tight end, I believe. It's a good decision there not to go back to the other receiver since we had him covered, and Washington's able to pick up a few yards. They're not really going down the field that much, honestly. Like, they took a couple weird shots to like the end zone, but they're not like forcing it into like the safety or secondary area, which sometimes burns us in games like these. That was obviously a play action out to Wheaton. See, that's what I'm talking about right there, but Glenn's able to turn around and knock the ball away. That's what they should try deep. One-on-one coverage. That was a good shot there, a good try by Washington. It's not going to work out for them. They're going to have to punt the ball away. But what I'm trying to say is that was a good deep look that they haven't really had today. Gonna fair catch this with Lamont. We'll start with the ball at the 32-yard line and try and build on our last drive. We're up by 4. We can afford to, well, run the ball like we did last drive, and hopefully that sticks. I don't want to have to pass with carry if I can help it. I think they're going to send the corner blitz over. Can we switch this play over to the right? Yes, we can. Yeah, they have like the corner blitz or like double coverage on page once again. So I'm going to try and toss this out. Michaels had to spin again to avoid the instant tackle. Gets 2 on the play, which is much better than what I was expecting. You know what? Let's try a pass play here on 2nd down. Why not? Spread the ball around, I guess. Dump it off to Michaels if we need to. Yeah, he's open. He's got better hands than Kozlowski anyway. Gets us about 4. Now, how comfortable do I feel running the ball on 3rd and 4 right here is the question. It didn't work out for us earlier. As you get a look there, we have 9 passing yards, and like a quarter of that, third of that came on that last play, but they're giving us the middle, it looks like, so Michaels might be able to pick this one up on the ground. Hole closes fast, and Michaels is about a yard short. That's all right, though. I mean, yes, we didn't get much on that possession here, but like all things considered, I would love punting the ball back to their 10-yard line and then giving the ball away in our own territory. It's gonna have to fair catch this one at the 15, so we keep collectively pushing back their starting drive positions further and further into their own territory, which is good, which means they have to go the entire length of the field, forcing some of the passes that they're forcing. They just haven't trusted their run game at all. Like, Wheaton, like I said, is one of the faster backs that I've seen this season, and he could break a long one if he wanted to. See, like right there, he bounced off a couple people, got a gain of like 8 yards. If they just keep maybe sticking to that, might be able to get further down the field. Only halfway through the 3rd quarter. It feels like this 3rd quarter has taken us a long time. Maybe I'm just thinking of the end of the 1st half again. 2nd and 2, they are going to run the ball to Wheaton. I was actually going to gun for the quarterback because it looked like a play action, and we stopped them just short of the 1st down. Get a look there. Washington 2 for 8 on 3rd downs. This is probably the easiest one of the day if they decide to hand the ball off here to Wheaton. Oh, they go with the misdirection. Fake handoff to the other back. Not that there was a linebacker there to make the play anyway, regardless of how long they had to go for 3rd down. Picked up a solid chunk of yards on the ground. Now it'll be 1st and 10 from the 30 for Washington. A slow and steady drive so far as they put Foley in motion. Likely going to be another run play. This one's out to the left to Lawton, the other tailback. He is small and he is nimble. Bounces off a few guys for another 1st down. And here we go. Washington is doing exactly what I thought they should be doing, which is running the ball, trusting their backfield. They're out to the 40 now. Now with 3 wide receivers, we'll see if they actually get the ball through the air again. They will hand it off to Lawton again. This time he picks up only about 2 or 3. This is why I like running the ball slowly and steadily and picking up the 1st downs, because the defense gets tired. A lot of my defenders are showing that they are fatigued when I go to pick out a play. As Connor meets Lawton that time, they're going to have to throw it now on 3rd and 9. But this is a close enough game. There's still a little bit of time to the point where they could afford to run the ball like that. There's that single coverage I was talking about, and Gamble, the wide receiver, is able to catch it just a little bit taller than our cornerback. And now Washington's inside the 30. Like, literally everything I was just talking about at the end of the 1st half, it's like they heard me. They're like, yes, let's do that. He's even alluding to it. Like, the shots down the field, the running of the ball, like, here's a draw play. Wheaton gets maybe a yard. As we get closer to the end of the 3rd quarter, we are hoping to force another field goal, if at all possible. Say what you want about this sustained drive by Washington, but if they don't get in the end zone, I would still consider that a loss on their end. I mean, they've been putting our defense to task this drive. 3rd and 6, likely the last play of the 3rd quarter. But a field goal doesn't really get them anywhere. They're still going to be down by a field goal. That one's nearly picked off by Glenn. And that will be the end of the 3rd quarter. Washington, let's see if they decide to go for it now that I guess it's the turn of the quarter. No, they are taking the safe route. They're going to go for the field goal. This one's right down the hash and 10 yards shorter than their other field goal from earlier today that they were able to make from long distance. But a make here will make it a 1-point ball game, and there it is. Kick is good, so we have the fourth quarter here to hold on to the 1-point lead. Great drive by Washington, but again, they only got 3 points out of it. We still have the lead. We have the ability to determine how the rest of this game's going to go. What I don't want is another 3-and-out. Like, I want to run the ball, but I don't want a 3-and-out. Very, very defensive game as you get a look at offensive production there. Not even 200 yards total offense between the two teams. And some of that's just been short field distance, but defenses are just too good, I guess. I'm not sure what's going on there. Michaels hit off of somebody and then, like, ran backwards. I did not do that with my analog stick. Thankfully, we're able to get a couple yards. As you look there, like, our offense is anemic as it is. We haven't even been able to average half of what we normally do. Ooh, the corner came across and... How the heck did Carey complete that? Like, I wanted to get it over to Minter, but then I didn't throw it because the defender was there. And then he did end up throwing it at his feet through 2 defenders. I guess I've only thrown the ball 8 yards. Eight times today for 22 yards. Wow. All right, Michaels, see what you can do. Truck him for the first down. Perfect. I mean, Michaels is pretty much our entire offense right now. Like, I'm so sorry to you guys who are watching these games and you want to see like high scoring, plenty of touchdowns. Like, that's what I get for picking the rosters that I did. Like, the defenses are just too strong, I think. And I'm still like trying not to kill my own team's chances with my quarterback play right now. Thank goodness I have a good running back who can actually receive the ball in the backfield. That's generally what I leaned upon anyway, but I just don't really feel like I can throw it down the field like I want to. I'm gonna try this play on the play action, but you know, like, I just don't trust myself like some other teams that I've played on this Madden game in the past. That was a dangerous throw. I saw the guy covering Kozlowski out to the right, plus we had a guy shooting up the middle for the sack, so it'll be 3rd and 7. And to our credit, we've driven a little bit where if we have to punt, Washington's going to have to do it again and go all the way down the field to get the score. Can we get Minter across the middle? There were way more defenders there than I thought, so that's a 4th down. Can our defense hold for 3.5 minutes if they need to? We shall see. Good punt. That's what we're looking for. They're going to have to fair catch. Well, no, he might have a chance to return this. I just whiff on the hit stick sometimes. I mean, might as well try if you can get up to him and force a fumble. Like, there were 3 or 4 other guys there still. But 1st and 10, Washington, will they pass the ball now that the game is trending towards a close? They're going to dump that one out to their running back. I'm just going to let him catch it. And that'll be a loss on the play. Connor celebrating. What the heck was that? Doing a strut of some kind. 2nd and 11. I mean, if they want to throw the ball behind the line of scrimmage, I can cover that, at least. There's a run play out to Wheaton. That's going to be a long 3rd down here for Washington. Do I go with the zone coverage or the man coverage? I think the man coverage has been working out better today. The 1 or 2 passing plays that they've gotten deep have been on zone coverage out to like the safety. So, ooh, they had the screen going there. I mean, Connor was the only guy over there because I was controlling him, but they had 3 offensive linemen ready to steamroll down the field and didn't go for it. Maybe the pressure got there, I don't know, but it seemed like the quarterback just kind of second-guessed himself and didn't want to throw the screen before the pressure. So we get the ball right back. Good defensive stand by our defensive squad. So if we run the ball, chew some clock, even get a field goal out of it, that would put the game at a 4-point decision, which would force Washington to have to go for the touchdown. So that's what I'm going to try and aim for. Like, obviously a touchdown would be great, but we can afford to run the ball, chew some clock, force Washington to make some errant throws. They've already thrown a couple interceptions so far today. It's not glorious. It's not going to look very good on the box score with like our anemic offense, but if we can win ball games, that's what we're looking to do here. So here's Michaels on the counter. Counters have worked well for us so far this year. Could have cut it outside, maybe tried for the first down, but I'm just going to take the yardage that they're giving us. So it'll be 3rd and 3. I'm going to let the clock run down to the 2-minute warning. This could be a really bad decision, but I kind of want to do like a toss play on this 3rd and short, because they wouldn't be expecting it, but I also don't want to like lose too much yardage. What do I want to do? They are stacking the box. Let's see if we can catch them off guard here. Michaels sneaks it back inside, and that's a 1st down. Washington calls the timeout. So the thing with Michaels is like he's pretty fast. He doesn't have like the breakaway fast to like turn the corner on too many of those well, sweep plays, toss plays, whatever you want to call it. But he is dangerous enough with his speed where he can just kind of cut back and pick up some first down yardage like that. Here's Michaels. He's got some room to run. And I'm just going to go for the touchdown here. Might come back to bite me, but we get open lanes like that. We take those as Michaels goes over 120 rushing yards. That's, again, like our entire offense today. All of our passing attempts have been to like him, I feel like, too. 40-yard touchdown, and we're going to go with the extra point here. Well, if I go for 2, then it's over, right? Do I dare? Or do I try and force him into the 2-point conversion? I mean, I'm just going to try. Take the points where they give them. Washington's still going to have to score a touchdown, and then they have a 50-50 shot of getting the 2-point conversion. If I miss, then it just makes it easy for them. They just kick an extra point, tie game. Great game by Michaels, though, so far. Like, we've been able to hand the ball off to him significantly. He's broken a few great runs of over 10 yards. That one was like 40 for the touchdown, and our defense, even though we've turned the ball over a little bit more than what I would have liked, like even with the short fields, they've been performing. They've only given up some field goal tries so far this game, but we will see if we can hold on for the last 2 minutes. Quarterback thought about running, probably could have ran for maybe 5, 8, 10 yards, but instead holds on to the ball, gets sacked. It's a 2nd and 14. Clock continues to tick down. That was just a rush through the tight end. He wasn't even close to running his route there. Now Washington with a huge 3rd and 14 upcoming. I'm gonna go with the zone defense so we can better protect the 1st down marker. They're going for it all to Cleveland. He drops it. Even if they turn the ball over and we run, they have timeouts, but we'd be able to kick the field goal. So like this is essentially the game right here. Hughes drops back to pass. He's going for deep to double coverage. That's a turnover on downs. We can just go ahead and run down some clock here. So they have 2 timeouts, which if used and we don't get the 1st down, we'll bring it down to about the, let's say, 30-second mark. Field goal puts this game out of reach. All we need to do is just hang on to the football. Washington doing a goal line formation. Michael's just going to plow through for a couple yards on the dive play. They're not calling their timeout. Oh, actually, yes, they are. Now they are. 3rd and 7. Let's just go ahead and do the goal line formation. Try and eat up some clock, get a couple yards closer to the field goal attempt. Hopefully get to the middle of the hashes. So Washington does force the 4th down. Wind is carrying with us on this 31-yard attempt. Even if Mansfield misses, Washington will have all of about 25-30 seconds to go. 80-ish yards plus score a 2-point conversion. So things are looking pretty good here for Norfolk. I wouldn't call it a terribly convincing win. Maybe, I mean, in terms of like some of the wins we've had so far this season, one of the largest wins we've had. You know what, I'm going to call a timeout here once it gets down to 1 second, just to squeeze every second out of the clock that we can. So 29 seconds. Field goal will take about 4 or 5 seconds to complete. And barring a complete computer field goal block from out of the blue, this should do it right here. Okay, the meter like legit went way faster than it has been all game. That is some BS. Like, what the hell? Like, I just, I don't know. But if I blow this drive here and the 2-point conversion with like 20 seconds left, I deserve to lose, in all honesty. They're able to make it out of bounds. No, they are not able to make it out of bounds. So 15 seconds left. They're going to spike the ball. Probably have to go Hail Mary from here. Go with our prevent defense. I still can't get over the fact that we missed that field goal. Like, the power one seemed fine, and then when it came back down, it seemed like much faster than what I'm accustomed to. It's just so weird like that. That one's going to be a bit short into quadruple coverage. We'll just probably Hail Mary it here a couple more times to end the ball game. I'm just going to go way back with Connor, the middle linebacker, to make sure that, like, if for some ungodly reason they catch the ball, I have somebody there to tackle. See how much arm this guy has, too. Cleveland, you still can't catch an interception. As that ends the ball game, Norfolk wins 17-9. Had some kicking issues, some turnover issues, same old, but we're able to get the W, and this time it wasn't by a measly 1 point or 3 points. We were able to win by 8. Defense held on to the end, and we move to 5-3 on the season, take the division lead for the moment. We'll see how DC does in their game later this week, I suppose. But first, let's look at some game stats. So, Carey with a 0 quarterback rating. He was 3 for 10 on his passes for 22 yards. But Michaels, 125 yards on the ground on 23 attempts, average of 5.4. We will take that. Plus the 4 yards receiving for a grand total of 129 total yards. I mean, you could see it in the box score. I just did not want to throw the ball. And when I had to, it was not great. We aren't going to get running lanes like that every single week, but we take it for this game. We take the lanes that we got. Michael's the player of the game. He was able to make some plays happen and ultimately lead us to the win almost single-handedly on offense. So there is the Dynamo game. They play the Liberty, who have won 2 in a row, on Sunday Night Football. Let's simulate a couple of these other games here first. Sim the Monday night game too to set up some suspense. All right, so if the Dynamo win, they take the divisional lead. It will not show us though, because it will bounce us to next week, where we are playing the Minnesota Freeze, who are 6-2. I'll get back to that in just a second. Get a look at the standings. The Dynamo did indeed win their matchup, so they are in the divisional lead right now as the 4 spot. Defenders are tied for that 5, 6, 7 mark, so we are in the thick of the playoff race, I suppose, but since we lost to the Dynamo earlier, we don't have the tiebreaker right now. Get a look there at the points for and points against. Dynamo scored a little bit better than us and have let up a little bit less points, which is kind of surprising in all honesty. Our defense has been pretty solid in terms of points allowed per game. Before we look at the weekly matchup too for next week, I want to look at the stats since we have hit the 8 game mark. We are exactly halfway through the regular season. Let's see what our offense and defense is trending towards in terms of where they might end the season. So Carey getting pretty close to maybe hitting that 2,000 yard passing mark, which isn't great. That's like just over 100 yards per game. Only had 22 last game, so hopefully he should get over 2,000 yards and I start trusting my pass game a little bit more. But 8 touchdowns, 10 interceptions, that's got to change. He's got to have more touchdowns than interceptions. Michaels with 699 yards on the ground, so he's on pace for about a 1,400 yard season. That's respectable. 3.7 average on the ground, 6 touchdowns, so a little bit under a touchdown a game, but he might also have some. Yes, he does have a couple touchdowns on the receiving end, so I guess he is indeed averaging 1 touchdown per game. Get a look there. He actually has more yards than some of our other receivers. Page and Minter are on pace for about 400 yards. Brown is also there. I want to go more to my tight ends. Like, Abbott's dropped a few, Kozlowski's dropped a few, but like I could probably look to go their way a little bit more than what I have been. Just, you know, those play action passes. The tight ends are usually open in the past with some other teams that I've played. It's just a matter of like maybe looking a little bit more his way. Then on defense, quite a few people with some interceptions. Cleveland had a lot of stone cold drops last week, but he actually leads the team in interceptions, oddly enough. 4 interceptions for him. Couple members on our defensive team with multiple sacks. Our defensive line has actually picked it up the last couple weeks. I know like for a few weeks in a row we didn't get any sacks and the quarterbacks just had all the time in the world. And on defense, Leslie Reed, the strong safety, leads in tackles, followed closely by Connor and Vargas, who are the 2 guys that I tend to control the most. So there is your look at the statistics as we get a look now at our matchup upcoming with the Minnesota Freeze. So there is the matchup. The Freeze are an 86 overall, have a little bit, I would say, stacked free agents that they might have accumulated on offense and special teams. Defense is, again, same as ours. most everybody has the same roster build. And looking at the statistics, we are dead last in offense, first in defense. Still have a few of those bye weeks remaining for a couple teams, but take a look at the Freeze. They are 5th in total offense and 12th in defense, so they are pretty solid across the board. Their main knock against them, I suppose, is their turnover differential. They are at a -1. We are sitting fairly pretty at a +3, even with all the interceptions that we tend to give away on offense. But there's your look at the upcoming matchup next week against the Freeze, Sunday at 1 o'clock at home in Norfolk. Thanks for tuning in to another edition of the Norfolk Defenders Madden 06 Rebrand, and we'll see you next time.